when you do the kaisido, this is not how you want to receive the men strike. All right, the way you're moving the shinai, trying to affect the seme on him is much better than it was previously. That's going to make the shimpan annoyed because it sounds like you're questioning their judgment. And it's not you to decide what is ippon and what isn't. It's for the shimpan to decide. Hi folks, it's Andy. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. We've got a great submission for you today. We're going to get to it in just a minute. I'm trying a bit of a different setup as well. Hopefully it works out all right. I know the video itself is a little bit smaller and I'm a little bit bigger. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you prefer the old setup where I'm tiny in the corner and it's probably better, isn't it, with me smaller thinking about it. But I've done it now, so maybe next week we'll change back. I don't know. We'll see. In this series of videos, basically what I do is I take footage that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in to me. We watch it together. I give you some feedback and hopefully everybody learns something. If you'd like to submit a video for feedback, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube. Set the video to unlisted or public. Unlisted means only people with the link can see it. Public means everyone can see it. And send it to me. Do not send it as set to private, please. Excuse me. A bit of a croaky voice, I don't know why. Do not send it to private, please, because I will not be able to see it. And then email the link to mail@KendoStar.com and I will definitely cover it on the channel. I always do. It sometimes takes me a couple of weeks. This one was sent to me a couple of weeks ago, but I do always get to them, okay? Before we jump into it, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know, all the wonderful Kendo Show YouTube stuff. Help us grow the Kendo population. Leave a comment down below using the word Kendo. What a fantastic Kendo video this is. Thumbs up, all that sort of stuff. But most importantly, support the channel by shopping at KendoStar.com. KendoStar is the best Kendo equipment website in the history and future of the galaxy. Of course, I would say that because I own the place, but KendoStar is the best. Everyone agrees. Okay. Right, so the email that came to me, it says, excuse me, it says, "Hi Andy Fisher Sensei. This is a very recent match. It's the national level university tournament. I was in white with the white Kendogi and Hakama. I'm a Shodan. Just graded this May. I started Kendo in 2022. Okay, so you've been doing Kendo for like 3 years and a bit. My opponent is a more experienced Japanese player. At 4th Dan, around 28 to 30 years old. For the context, it's a pool match. I know he's second place last year. And I know his kote from under heavy style. I strategize to use occasional tsuki when he semi under and a lot of kote ojiwaza in mid distance. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see how that plays out. Results. I felt that my flag is a lot heavier than my opponent, which I need an honest opinion on. Please let me know if you disagree. Well, I'm not going to get into criticizing Shimpan on here, but anyway, I know he's very physical. Physically built and strong, but I underestimated his physicality and got shoved around a lot. I wasn't able to do any hikiwaza due to not having balance when engaging in any close physical contact, which hikimen is my big strong point. I suffered a concussion from the bad fall, which I had to go to emergency for and was ruled out of the team competition for the next day. Opponent went on to win the men's Dan individual that day. Okay. It was a very emotional experience from my perspective, but I wish an objective opinion can help me process this much better. I've been reflecting on my playstyle and movement patterns that makes me vulnerable to shoving. I even was able to achieve my goal of deadlifting 200k for 1 for 1 rep this August on a trap bar, but I felt all powerless from the physicality, and I know very clear it's a technical issue with how I move, so please don't hesitate to point out anything you see. I'm sure you have a lot of valuable perspective that I don't have. Okay. Let's have a look. All right. I'm not looking for controversy, right? I'm not going to start criticizing the Shimpan. We're talking about one side's flags being heavier than the other. I mean, we'll have a look. But it is a fact that Shimpan are human. And yeah, it's natural that if you're relatively sort of... And you know, of course, all Shimpan are doing their very best to be impartial as possible, right? All Shimpan, right? But even in the top level tournaments in Japan, a relatively unknown player is fighting a slightly uphill battle against someone who's perhaps, let's say, 3 or 4 times All Japan champion, because they've got that advantage of having this sort of name. All right. Now, all Shimpan do their best to avoid using that in their judgment, but everyone's human. All right. So the answer to that is not complain about it, it's to become the person with the name. But let's have a look. Let's have a look. All right, it's 4 minutes long. So you're on this side of the screen. Just check everything's showing up properly. All right, and it sounds like you get pushed over. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let me check the audio levels and stuff on here are all okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is a dangerous position in the first place, right? Where you sort of stood up straight away and launched in a sort of random attack. Like this, almost took the men Kaishi men, right? It's quite a good strike, actually. Okay. Sort of struggled a bit to make the clean strike, I guess, which is why it wasn't Ippon, but this is a good opportunity for your opponent. So you have to be careful about just standing up and throwing yourself in. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too much about this sort of thing. It can be kind of useful. It kind of looks like the sort of thing, the position you're at that can work fine, all right? I think for a couple of years of Kendo and Shodan, I think, your ability is obviously very good. So that's good. I'd say that your left heel's too high, which is why when you hit, you dive in with your upper body, and your left leg kicks up. This is, I've not seen you get pushed around or pushed over yet, but this is putting you off balance. It's very easy to push someone over like this. You don't need a lot of effort or force to do that. You see what I mean? You're in a very wide stance. Look how high your heel is, almost vertical. Almost vertical. Yeah. And then you sort of launch this, the strike. It's all from your upper body. Your left leg's kicking up like this. Yeah, so your lower body's not giving you stability in your strike. So even a strike that connects like this is difficult to receive the Ippon for. I'm not seeing a lot of good quality footwork on your part. All right. It's reasonably fast, but it's not good quality. So there's a lot of dancing about, jumping into strike. But which I realize the university tournament you're probably quite young, which is fine. But with better technique, you'll get better efficiency, and your strikes will be more effective. Your semi will be more effective too. There's no sort of attempt here for you to kind of give any sort of pressure or semi towards the center line here. Your Shiai is totally taken out of the equation. This is not a threatening position. So it's unlikely you'll affect any sort of semi on the other side. Just to be clear, I haven't seen anything particular at the minute that I consider to be particularly over physical. Your left hand is completely dead. Okay, in your kama, your left hand is completely dead. It means that you're using your right hand more to swing the Shiai. And the Kensen's not alive. So again, this is going to affect your ability to project your intention and your semi towards your partner. Instead, you can see the way that Shiai is moving around this way, rather than having any sort of like I say, life in the Kensen. Okay. Okay, so this is the kote, right? So your kote is open here, okay? Your kote is open here. You can see that. It's got you as you're jumping backwards like this. Your hands are sort of raising and opening the kote. I don't think you can really argue with this Ippon, all right? Your follow-up strike was quite good, but the kote was already in. So you see how you were completely affected by his semi, okay? Broke your kama as you came backwards this way. This is why it's kote Ippon. See, if you'd kept your kamae, maybe used your shinai more effectively to defend the kote and then made that secondary strike, probably this would have been more likely to be the ippon for you.
Man, this guy's ready. Look at him.
So this main strike is not ippon. Okay. I know you get a flag, but it's for me this is not ippon. It doesn't connect properly. It doesn't have the good connection. It's not got good the good sae. It was well timed. You hit a good timing, but I don't think it connects properly. No, I'm not sure it even hits with the right part of the shinai either. Yeah, see, it didn't hit at all. Once we look at it in slow motion, you didn't even hit the target. So, okay, so here's a bit of a pushy thing. But again, I mean, it's not hard to push you over. It's getting a little bit rough, but it's not over the top yet. Because, you know, look at the sort of position that you're in. You know, this is because you haven't been able to bring your left foot with you and your hips aren't behind you. So you haven't retained good posture. So it's very easy for you to get pushed around. You're not able to maneuver. All you're able to do is kind of plant yourself, and that's why you end up sort of pushing against each other, but you're not in a good position to do that. All right. If you've been able to use your footwork more effectively, then as soon as that push had started coming in, you'd have been able to move and then maybe use a hikiwaza, put them off balance. Okay. Granted, this is like quite experienced stuff. At your experience level, it's unlikely you'll be able to do that. I get that, but that's what you need to work on. So here, right, there's two things here, right? Look, his shinai is hooked on yours or caught somewhere. So, and let's have a look here. Looks like it gets hooked together. And then you're kind of stuck together, all right? So then, because it's stuck, he has to ask to stop, and it looks like it's not gonna quickly, you know, you're not gonna sort it out with each other. So there's nothing weird about this so far. This is not the place to make a strike. Not the place to make a strike. He's clearly asking for the stoppage. In a fair position. Okay, so you hit him on the head with the kaishido. Okay, so this is because when you do the kaishido, right? When you do the kaishido, this is not how you want to receive the men strike, okay? I don't think it is a men strike. It's a kote strike that he's come for, all right? So this isn't going to be the kaishido ippon anyway, but in any case, you've made this very strange shape. Look at the stance that you're in. And then you're not even looking at him really, and just swing the shinai, and look how much it's bent there on the side of his head. That must have hurt quite a lot. Because yeah, you've hit him straight on the back side of the head there, right? And then yeah, okay. So I've got a video about kaishido. Give it a watch. I think you can improve that a lot. Because this isn't the shape you want to make for kaishido. You're not going to hit the accurate door strike. You're not going to catch the shinai properly. You're not going to be able to execute the strike accurately. You're not going to be able to have the good kime and zanshin, and you're not going to be able to get the ippon for it. Okay. So in a break, like this is a tip for everybody. It's a tip for everybody, okay? When you get the break in the Shiai like this, okay, you should kamai awase. See how he does the kamai towards you. Watch the high-level Japanese Shiai. Watch the All Japan Championship, something like that. When something like this happens, someone falls over, somebody, whatever, some sort of mess happens and the action has to stop. Before returning to the kaishisen, that's the line, both players generally, even just lightly, will do the kamai awase and then go back, right? It just makes your Shiai look neater and it makes it look like to everybody that you understand the relationship with you and your opponent a little bit better, and it's obviously a bit more respectful for your ite. So it's just this isn't necessarily targeted at you because a lot of people don't do this, but it's definitely something that I think we should be more aware of, and do that when there is a break in the action. Check if he's okay. Yeah, he's okay. See how high your left heel is here? There's no way you can launch your hips forward, okay? So the strikes you're going to make are definitely going to be off balance. So look at the position you're in. Okay. So this push here, it's not good to push like this, but it's not that egregious in this particular case, all right? If it was more from below and more upwards, especially if you had been coming forwards, then this would be bordering on handsoku. But I think this is less so. You've fallen over here because you're not in a stable position after hitting, to be honest. This kind of fall happens a lot, you know, kind of normal. I'd struggle to, you know, lots of players, to be honest. I think there's a somewhat, you know, I don't think that this push was done with the intent of pushing you over in that way. And it's not that intent necessarily matters, but I think there's a fair expectation for you to be able to receive this level of force without being injured. And obviously accidents happen, which is what's happened here. But I struggle to pin all of the blame on him in this particular case.
The winner.
This is a dangerous point for you, wasn't it? You nearly got the cut here. Well, obviously you missed. You hit a good time, it's just not. This is also a good time for cut as well. I can't see how accurate it is. Let's have a look. But it looks like it just missed. I can't really tell, but this is I'd be twitching with the flag for this one. So again, you're making this kind of strange motion for Kaishido, like this. It's completely open for Kote, right? Like this isn't how we do Kaishido. So I definitely recommend you look at that that video that I've done. Because Kaishido is super useful waza, all right? So if you can kind of improve it, you'll definitely get a better experience with Shiai. Haven't seen anything yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've not seen anything yet that I consider to be completely excessive pushing and physical kind of contact, especially in a kind of Dan level tournament at university level, between two guys like this, pretty much.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that's.
Oh my.
I mean, that's again, that's you falling over rather than him pushing you over, isn't it? You've kind of gone for some kind of strange katate waza that I don't really know what it is. Is it katate men? I can't see from the angle, all right? And he's gone for the kote, and then he's kept his balance, and obviously he's expecting you to come in with the taiatari, which would be normal, and he's received the taiatari, which is normal, but because you're kind of running forward with one hand over your head, then yeah, you're easily in a position to fall over. Like I say, your footwork's kind of, like I say, it's fast, but it's low quality, so that's why it's putting you off balance. This isn't excessive on his part at all. Basically kept his ground, giving you a bit of a taiatari there, expecting, which is reasonable, expecting. I don't. He tried to do the degote, so he obviously didn't expect this kind of katate thing that came at him. Which fair enough. But yeah, I think there's a reasonable expectation of some kind of taiatari at this point. So his kind of receipt of that is not outside of what I would expect.
Oh my god.
So this is a footwork issue and posture issue. Everything's very much upper body with you when you're hitting. So I think probably players could put you on the ground even just by hitting your shinai hard enough. I've seen that before as well. Like if you're too much overextended this way, if they some senseis do it, like they'll hit your shinai from this way and you'll just go forward and fall over. I've had that experience too, to be honest, probably when I was about your experience level. So it's not, I know it sounds like I'm being hypercritical here, but you got, please understand, I read the tone of your message and I'm trying to give you a kind of objective, fair sort of, what can I say, like feedback on this for your benefit. Okay, I want you to do well. So see, this seme with this, it's not really seme, but this twitching of the kensen, this is all coming from your right hand, it's not your left hand. Not particularly threatening.
Come on, Joe.
I like that you made this door strike here. It wasn't good enough for Ikbon, but good that you did it. Well done. So, like here, for example, as well. Like I can see, you're not in a good, well-balanced position here. Your feet are sort of flat on the floor. You've kind of come from this position, and then of course he doesn't know where you're coming. He kind of wasn't sure where you're going, so he's coming in this way. This is normal stuff, but you weren't in a strong position to receive that momentum from it. This isn't about physical strength at all. This is about technical ability. That looks like men from here. Maybe he missed. Yeah, he missed, didn't he? He missed. Good timing for men. This is a dangerous way to receive this men for you. Okay, dangerous way for you to receive this men. If he'd come for kote instead, he might have got it. So the way you're using the Shiai here is better than before. All right, the way you're moving the Shiai, trying to affect the seme on him is much better than it was previously. This one, you're using the left hand more. It looks more effective. Same here, it was nearly one. The kote wasn't quite in, I don't think, so it's not kote. But the men's really light. Not really, you know, not really convincing. I don't think I'm lifting for your men either, to be honest. Yeah, it's too. There's no impact because your lower body's not backing you up when you do this kind of waza. This extra shower here is unnecessary, and I would recommend you stop doing it. This one. That's going to make the Shimpan annoyed because it sounds like you're questioning their judgment. And it's not you to decide what is Ippon and what isn't. It's for the Shimpan to decide. So it doesn't matter if you think it's Ippon or not. If the Shimpan don't think it's Ippon, it's not Ippon. So the Shimpan, of course, have their own responsibility to ensure that they judge the matches fairly and make accurate decisions. But that's not for you to, you know, evaluate. Certainly not mid-match. I understand what's frustrating when your expectations of Ippon and the judgment of the Shimpan don't align. I understand that very much. I'm just telling you from a strategic point of view, especially if you've only been in Kendo a few years and you're Shodan, this ain't a good look for you. No, I think you made a good attempt at men. It's a good attempt at men, but it's not good enough for Ippon. For me, I wouldn't lift. I don't think. The problems you've got is, first off, I'm not, you know, yeah, we can see the kote isn't in. Okay, fine. Well, this, to be fair, the kote is made a very good opportunity again, as you kind of raise up like this. This Shimpan can't clearly see the strike or not. So his raise for the kote is not unusual, all right? It's not unusual, all right? Now, the strike's made accurately with good part of the Shiai, all right? It's just a bit light because you're, as I say, the moment of impact, you're not using your lower body effectively to transfer your body weight to the Shiai. This takes years of practice, though, so I'm not surprised, you know. If this was a lower level tournament, if this was like a, let's say a Shodan Nidan tournament or a Shodan only tournament, I'd probably give this. But if it's an open tournament where everyone's got to be judged to the same standard, then probably no. All right, but it was good. It was a good try. It was good. All right, you just need to improve the sharpness of the strike itself, better tenoichi, and better use of the lower body so that you can generate more impact on the strike. And you'll definitely get Ippon in that case. You get pushed off balance through again. So I think you have an issue with the balance, the way you're, you know, kind of forming your balance, especially when it comes to closer interactions like this. Because it's very easy to push you off balance. He's not pushing you so hard, to be honest. So it's definitely about footwork and managing your balance properly, using your correct footwork.
Oh.
The sound is totally different. The sound from this men's strike, it's a bit hard to tell in the video. Sound from this men's strike And the sound from your men's strike before is quite different. There's no arguing for them. This is a good men. Okay. The men that you made before was pretty okay. Where were we? A bit too far. Gone a bit further. Just want to kind of look at the sound again. It might not come through that well on the video, but there is a different... It's much softer. Much softer. Okay, so the shimpan are listening as well as watching, right? So the sound of the strike is also how they're judging the quality of the strike. And this in the requirements of Yuko Datotsu, and especially the ones listed in the handbook, one of the criteria is tsuyosa to sae. Okay, tsuyosa to sae, strength and sharpness. Okay, and that's what's lacking in the strike. All right, and it's not quite. It's like a kind of atouchi. It's not like if you'd done aigote men here instead of like, or you know, if this had been an ojiwaza rather than an atouchi, then there's an argument to say that it could be considered ippon, and probably would be more likely to be considered ippon under the realms of what's called genmyo na waza. Now, genmyo na waza is waza that's particularly difficult to execute. And it doesn't necessarily mean a specific technique, but there are specific techniques that are very difficult to execute. Okay, aigote men, men nukido, katatezuki, to name a few. But also there's others like kind of types of hikiwaza, or just even like debana, just straight up normal waza, depending on the situation. But they're executed in a situation where pulling off a waza like that is you know, particularly difficult. And in such cases where a waza can be considered as a genmyo na waza, then the requirements for Yuko Datotsu can be loosened slightly. Okay, so if it's slightly deep but doesn't hit perfectly hard enough, if it's slightly off the target, these things can be considered when deciding whether it's going to be ippon or not. Okay, so sometimes, like for example, aigote men, very difficult waza. Aite is coming flying in for kote, coming very fast, and bam bam, you do the kote men, and you might hit a little bit further up the shinai. Okay, normally you'd want to hit here. You might hit them with this part of the shinai. Okay, that can often still be considered ippon or valid based on the difficulty of that technique. That isn't really what's happened here. You received the strike and then you did the atouchi men. It's not quite enough to consider that the genmyo na waza. All right. When the opponents hit a kote and they're stood there wide open, you have to hit a good quality men for that to be the ippon. Okay, especially at this level of tournament. But look, I think. I know it sounds like I've piled a load of criticism on you there, and I have, right? But I've done so because I want the best for you. I realise that you're obviously quite young if this is a tournament at a university level. You're shodan, so you're quite new to Kendo, but you're not a beginner, complete beginner. So I understand what it's like to be in your position, all right? I understand what it's like, right? And I can pick up some things from the tone of your email that you're unsure if you were treated in a justified way. I don't see anything strange or weird about this Shiai at all. I don't think that the flags for your partner are lighter or the flags for you are heavier or anything like that. There doesn't seem to be any sort of bias in the refereeing. I don't think there's any over physically aggressive play from your partner. I think that's to be expected at this level of Shiai. I think you have to improve your technique and particularly the control of your balance using your lower body so that you're able to respond to that in a more effective way and avoid, you know, getting knocked over. So that's what I'd say on that, okay? And I want that to be clear to you. I want to be honest with you about that rather than, do you know what I mean? I want you to get this right from the start, okay? So that you can go on to really flourish in your Kendo career, because you're obviously very good for your level. A couple of years in Kendo, Shodan, you're very, you've got a good grasp of what you're doing. You're very quick. You've got a good sense of when to hit, which I like. All right, I like that. Yeah, but we just need to clean it up a little bit so that it can be more effective for you. All right, and yeah. I think you're doing a great job. I want you to think about your lower body more, focus more on your footwork, focus on keeping your heel a bit lower and pushing forward with your hips rather than jumping up, letting your left leg kick out. Don't let your upper body overextend. Don't use your right hand to maneuver the Shiai. Use your left hand like you did later in the video. And when you do Kaishido, you don't want to be receiving like this, dropping you into a massive wide stance, lifting your arms way over your head like this. Your Shiai wants to stay in front of you. Your Tsubo wants to stay in front of you. Pam, pam, this way. All right. Kaishido is a hard waza, it is, but it's useful. So I recommend, please check out the video that I've done on Kaishido. I'll try and do another one. I've done another video on door strikes recently as well, a tip of the week on door strikes. Watch that as well, and you'll see a bit about what I mean. And you'll have more success with it, I'm sure. All right, but well done. Thank you very much for sending the video in. If anyone else would like to send a video in, you know what to do. Put it on YouTube, put it as unlisted or as public. Send me the link to mail@kendostar.com. Thank you very much for joining me. Shop at KendoStar, and see you next time. Bye-bye.